Okay, so for this video, my channel kind of hit a milestone. We are approaching 100 subscribers. As of the recording of this, we're at 82, and that has me pretty excited. So I have something special that we're going to be doing for this video. It is something that I've been waiting months for. It is the culmination of a Kickstarter that I never thought should have actually happened. I'm not going to go into that in this video. I'm going to save those thoughts for maybe another video. But this is the Ghostbusters Kickstarter Mass Hysteria Edition. I just got it in literally minutes ago. I haven't opened it. I want to open it together. I want to open it fully on camera. There have been some nightmare stories online about what people have found inside and about how Ship Naked has packed things, and I want to document my experience from beginning to end. So we're going to go ahead and cut open the box here. Everything you see, I am seeing for the first time. Alright. So you open it up. Some basic class. Oh, this is. It's already not really impressing me. They just kind of tossed everything in here. Things are bent. You know, I got gruesome, toothsome things here with wicked bent cards. Everything is just super bent. So the packing job certainly could have been better. I mean, I paid a ton of money for this set. This was not cheap at all, and I'm really not impressed with how this is packed. You know, to be honest, I haven't been impressed with too much in regards to this Kickstarter to begin with. Starting with the fact that it existed at all, I don't think a company like Cryptozoic needs to do Kickstarters to get games out. I thought it was a pathetic begging for money campaign, but it was Ghostbusters, and that is one of my all-time favorite things, so I backed it to the best degree that I could. So this is, as far as I know, Kickstarter exclusive packaging box set. Now the box itself looks like it's going to be pretty cool. It looks like it's kind of reflective. I'm not sure how well that'll come across. Now, let me get this plastic wrap off. We'll need to take a real good look at. Well, again, I'm getting this off and I'm immediately unimpressed with just the quality. Look at this right here. I mean, I spent almost $400 on this entire set, and I've got a nice little scuffed corner right out of the box. Other than that, I think it looks pretty okay. You know, as far as special edition goes, this is definitely a nice way to set your special edition crowd apart from the standard editions that would be sold in retail. It's just, again, I don't know if this is Ship Naked's fault. I don't know if it's poor quality material on the part of Cryptozoic, but my box has a nice little scuff on the corner. My $400 box has a nice little scuff on the corner. So we open it up. The first thing we get is a pretty hefty manual. I've already reviewed the online version of the manual. This is pretty nice. The quality of the paper is really good. Yet nice little comic images. Everything seems pretty clear. The manual is very nice. This is the first thing that I've been impressed with. Granted, we haven't really delved too far in, but the manual is nice. I'll say that. It's nice. It's big. They didn't cheap out on the manual if it's, you know, it's box size, so that's pretty cool. Next, we have a bundle of tiles. Let me get the plastic off of this, and we'll take a look at them. Now, I had heard beforehand that people were afraid these tiles were going to be pretty thin. Like they were going to be just made out of the same material as the ghost cards and whatnot. I don't think that's the case. That doesn't appear to be the case at all. So let's take a look. See how they look, see how they feel. Alright, so let's pop one out. They come, looks like 4 to a thing. And they're pretty sturdy. These are These are definitely not paper thin. I'm not disappointed with these. I think these are fairly nice. They're not the nicest tiles I've seen in a board game. You know, they're not Fantasy Flight game quality, which is unfortunate. But they're not bad. They're pretty solid. You know, you could put something with some weight on there, and it's not bending at all. And we've got, I'm assuming these are the Shandor building. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 3/4 things worth of building tiles. And then we've got some tokens here, up your counter and the gate counters. More tokens. Whoops. This is the, it was going to come with some sort of a lithograph of the retail cover. So that's actually pretty cool. I could see framing that and hanging that in my game room. That's actually pretty nice. A bunch of tokens. The original Ecto 1 tile, though it's been replaced by an actual miniature. The tokens are nice. Again, I wouldn't quite call them Fantasy Flight game quality level, but they're not bad. They're not what I was afraid they were going to be. I thought they were going to be almost paper thin, and they're not. They're very nice. I have no complaints with the tokens. Not being Fantasy Flight games quality is not a knock on a game at all. They really go all out for their games. So inside the box, we have another box that I'm assuming is filled with the stretch goals, core game stuff. The stuff I pulled up before, I think, are stuff that I ordered separate. I got more than just the Mass Hysteria bundle. I got almost every add-on. Oh, shit. I got them upside down. Alright. So these are all the miniatures. They come in their own trays. So now it's going to be a good test to see how easily they go back into those trays. You know, one of the worst things about games is not being able to get them back in the trays where they belong, or not knowing where they go. And this doesn't seem too bad. I can't say I'm terribly impressed with the quality of the miniatures, and they're not the worst I've seen, but they're not the best either. And this doesn't look like it's really going to be all that great in figuring out how to get these guys back in. So once you get these out, that might be it. They might just be out. Alright. So anyway, we've got a bunch of miniatures on the table here. Let's take a look. These are all the small miniatures. We've got, I think this is Walter Peck. So I'll say that's good. I can tell who he was by the miniature. I've heard some people go on about how amazed they are at the detail, and I can't say I'm amazed at the detail. In fact, I'm a little disappointed mainly with the translucent figures. That's my dog going ape shit because somebody has the audacity of driving into their driveway. I think you lose some of the detail with the translucent colored blue. You know, the same thing that there's a Slimer. You can tell it's Slimer, but it's hard to make out the details. I don't know. And then the colored figures. The gray figures aren't terrible, but then that really shows how what kind of a lack of detail there are. I don't know. I'm gonna. These aren't the worst figures I've seen, but they're not the best. Again, given the money that some people pumped out for this, the good thing is, I think you'll be able to tell who is who, at least among the Ghostbusters, fairly easily. You know, if I just, especially since they're color-coded. But if I pull out this guy, I don't know, Winston maybe? So maybe it's not perfect. This guy's Winston. Well, again, you know, this is another example of. Let me see if I can get it up there. I don't know how well it'll come across, but there's not a ton of detail. They're very plain. Not quite nondescript, but I was hoping for better. So if we go into the big figures, and this is where I heard a lot of people have been having problems with broken figures, is in the 100mm figures, especially this guy. Now, my guy... Sorry, that was off camera a little bit. My guy doesn't appear to be broken at all. And he actually, I mean, he appears pretty sturdy. I don't feel that the limbs are weak at all. You know, obviously he could be broken. He's got some extended limbs there, but I don't know. I don't think casual mailing would damage him. You know, we got our 100mm Stay Puffed. Again, he's solid. He's a nice solid figure. Got our Impossible Mode Stay Puffed. So he's another nice solid figure. You know, the details on these bigger figures are a lot better. We got Cthulhu here. Still not great, but it's okay. I'm not horribly disappointed. You know, some of these are just kind of thrown in there. It's like these weren't even really made for... I don't know. Got our Ecto-1. Again, even the Ghostbuster symbol on the Ecto-1 is kind of crappy. You know, you could have got one symbol on the entire vehicle, right? It should have been that, and it's... I mean, it's there, but I don't think it's very well done. And we got more. I mean, we have they give you just a ton of ghosts. I'll give you that. If this is what's in the regular... Well, it won't be what's in the regular base set, because you won't get the girls or anything like that. But, I mean, there's just a ton of ghosts, so that's good. And you got your dice. And the dice look like they're pretty good quality. The symbols are actually etched onto the dice. They're not stickers or anything. So that's good. These must be markers for the character sheets. And they give you a small free bags for stuff, I guess. This is one of the things I've been looking forward to, that I thought was a really cool addition. The Tobin Spirit Guide. Let me get the plastic off that. So I thought this was a really neat way, excuse me, to host your cards. So let me get the plastic off that. And again, I'm not sure what comes in the retail version and what is Mass Hysteria exclusive here. I know the Tobin Spirit Guide is Mass Hysteria. I think if you didn't get that from the Kickstarter, you're not going to get it. So these are the character cards. They're pretty... They got a nice little finish on them. Now my big worry, because you're supposed to clip things to them. And I've had, you know, cheaper games before where you clip things on stuff and it starts chipping away at the card. But that looks okay. I don't think that'll be too much of a problem here. So we've got Peter, Spengler, Stance. Push this out a little more. Zedmore. So these are the four that come in the core game. Even the retail version. Then you get some Galloping Ghouls, Gruesome Twosomes, Boogaloo Manifestations, Slimer, Idleness, Stay Puffed, and then these must be scenario cards. Where are... There we go. So these must be sorted somehow from cards you got. Like, these must be the retail versions. And then, like, there's the Sandman, the Impossible Mode Stay Puffed, Zool, Vince Clortho, Gozer, the Librarian, Sam Hain, the Boogeyman, Ivo Shandor, Boogaloo, Spawn of Cthulhu, Cthulhu, and the Fearsome Flush, which I think were all ghosts from... they were stretch goals. So you won't get that in the retail version, I don't think. Then there is Walter Peck. Then there were these stretch goal Ghostbusters. You got Janine, Griffin, Ortiz, Alexander, and the Rookie. And I've done a video on all of these, so if you're interested more in these, the video is lower quality. I didn't have a nice microphone, but I have done a video on all those. And then these are more scenarios. So you have it looks like just a ton of scenarios to potentially play through. Let's see. They have Campaign. This is Campaign 1. Campaign 2. Campaign 3. So there are 3 campaigns, all of which are color-coded. Then it looks like maybe a bunch of individual scenarios. And this one's another campaign. So you get a ton of cards, and the cards are pretty nice quality. I have nothing to complain about with the cards. And it looks like the Tobin Spirit Guide will be big enough to handle all of the other stuff. Because I also got... I got a list here because I want to be sure I got everything. I want to be sure they sent everything, rather. Alright, so let's take a look. So, we got the base Mass Hysteria game, which is everything we just looked at. All that stuff is the base Mass Hysteria game. Overall, I can't say I'm disappointed, but neither am I blown away. You know, it's alright. It's just when I think about how much money I spent on the game, I would have liked a little more. And the packaging is horrendous. I'm not happy with the packaging at all. So let's go now. We should have an Impossible Mode Slimer and Idleness in one of these. Here we go. Here's the Impossible Mode Slimer and Idleness. Alright, so they're both in one pack. So that's good. So they are big fans of putting stuff in stuff. So here are the Impossible Mode. Well, in theory. Jesus. Slimer and Idleness cards. And here are... Again, a box with a bag. The Impossible Mode, Idleness, and Slimer. You know, the big problem that I'm having now is I have no storage for these. Thankfully, and they do seem fairly rugged. I think if you just store these in a big mass in a box, I don't think really you're going to be too at risk for them breaking. Alright, so we should have Impossible Mode Boogaloo Manifestations. I think I saw those. Galloping Ghouls. Boogaloo Manifestations. So we got the card. This is the Boogaloo Manifestation. This is Manifestations, but I think it's just the Boogaloo. I think they wrote it wrong on the inventory sheet. Christ. So we get the Boogaloo Manifestation card, which has of course been bent from the way they packed it. And a bag and a box. Nope, these are definitely multiple. So we've got four Boogaloo Manifestations. Again, good. I mean, they're fairly sturdy. I have no problem with the sturdiness of the figures. My problem is just I don't know if it's just a lack of detail on the figures themselves, or if the translucent color just washes them out. But they could be better. Next, Impossible Mode Gruesome Twosome, right here. On the plus side, these are nice bags. Those will be good for something. There we go. Card again. Card. I mean, the cards are nice quality, and I think they'll flatten out once I get them in the box. It doesn't impress me that they're bent to begin with. And now we got a ton of these gruesome twosomes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. You get 10 of these gruesome twosomes. Those aside. Now I should have 10 regular gruesome twosomes somewhere. Galloping Ghouls. Now, we already had gruesome twosomes in the base game, so I wonder if the extras don't come with another card. They might come with an extra scenario. Yeah. These are the Galloping Ghouls. So these are the 10 extra Galloping Ghouls that are listed on there, which come with an extra scenario. Holy crap. Alright. So this is the 4 Too Many Ghosts. It's a Kickstarter add-on campaign, scenario number 2. And it must come with... these must be the 10 Galloping Ghouls. So I get 10 extra. 2, 3, 4. Oh, there it is. We have our first break. See if I can figure out where it came from. Well, I have an extra pin. Oh, yep, there it goes. We have our first break of a Galloping Ghoul. Just from taking it out. I'm not going to complain too much about it. I'm sure it'll be able to be fixed. The problem is these legs are kind of like bug legs, and they seem sturdy enough, but I don't know. You're going to get so many of these, you're probably bound to get an air bubble or something in the mold. Again, I think some super glue have that fixed up fairly well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And unfortunately, it doesn't bode well for future. You know, again, there's no real way to store these. And if one broke just in shipping, I don't know. Again, there's so many figures, though, they break. You know, I've been playing miniature games for a long time, and unfortunately, miniatures break. And, like I said, with this, it's a fairly clean break, so it should fix fairly well. So, the Impossible Mode Galloping Ghouls card. And 10 more Galloping Ghouls. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And as you can see, I'm not exactly being gentle with these. And that's on purpose, just to see how they handle casual manipulation. And they're bouncing all over the table, and they're not really... We've had one break so far, so... again, I can't really complain too much about that. So we had our 10 Galloping Ghouls, 10 Impossible Mode Galloping Ghouls, so I'm still looking for 10 Gruesome Twosomes, and I better in here. So you get another scenario. There we go. So another scenario. This one is Kickstarter campaign scenario number 3. And 10 Gruesome Twosomes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And again, no breaks there, so I'm happy. So we did the 10 Gruesome Twosomes right here. 10 Impossible Mode Galloping Ghouls. 10 Galloping Ghouls. Impossible Mode Ghost Bundle. So there must be another. Here we are. So this must be Kickstarter campaign scenario number 1. And I apologize for the glare. Everything with this channel is still a work in progress. You know, it's something I do when I have time. And, you know, I don't have professional lighting. I got a good microphone. Somebody suggested getting a Yeti microphone, and I got that. And I think the audio is way better from my first sets of videos. Right now I'm working on lighting. My wife and I have gotten some other lamps so that there's less of a glare. You know, right now we're right underneath a lamp. And now you can see. You know, I have a webcam suspended from the ceiling to catch all this. And there's just a glare. But we're working on it. Everything's a work in progress. So this is Kickstarter campaign scenario number 4, actually. And comes with a Boogaloo manifestation, another Galloping Ghoul, 2 Galloping Ghouls, 3 Galloping Ghouls, 4 Galloping Ghouls, 5 Galloping Ghouls, and 3 Gruesome Twosomes. I'm not sure if these are the correct numbers, so I'm going to do something like this, and after Off cam, I'm gonna go to the Kickstarter page just to double check everything. These don't look like an impossible mode bundle though. These are just regular ghosts. Oh, standard ghost bundle. So there must be right here. So that must be the standard ghost bundle. And this would be the impossible mode bundle. So we got Galloping Ghouls, Gruesome Twosomes, and Boogaloo Manifestation. So I'm assuming we're going to have an identical number. 1 Boogaloo Manifestation, 3 Gruesome Twosomes, and 5 Galloping Ghouls. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Galloping Ghouls, a Gruesome Twosome, Boogaloo Manifestation, and 3 Gruesome Twosomes. Jaina, enough! She doesn't even know what she's barking at. So that was the Impossible Goad bundle. So now we have 5 zombie taxi drivers. So we got, getting a little off camera. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zombie taxi drivers and their ghost card. There's 2 cards here. Oh, here's Kickstarter campaign scenario number 1. And then the zombie taxi driver ghost card. So we've got an entire Kickstarter exclusive campaign that we had to buy. Now this did not come with the Mass Hysteria add-on. This was not part of my initial investment in the Mass Hysteria add-on. Every one of these had to be purchased separately, in addition to everything else. And finally, we have the Spectral Ghostbusters. So they have the Spectral Ghostbusters card. Then the Spectral Ghostbusters, which actually are done in a really neat color. So you've got the 4 original Ghostbusters done in what looks like material that'll glow in the dark, which is kind of neat. So if you ever wanted to sit these on a stand or something, it looks like they'd glow in the dark. And so that, it looks like they got everything. I don't have anything else on my shipping. So I'm going to go back and look at my survey and check their site to make sure that everything is as it should be. But this is the Mass Hysteria bundle with just about every add-on. I didn't get the primable figures. That's the only thing I'm missing, I think. In the end, am I happy? I guess I'm happier more than I am anything else. You know, it looks like it's going to be a fun game. Nothing too in-depth. Again, it's not a Fantasy Flight game. But it looks like it'll be quick. It looks like it'll be fun. Got a ton of ghosts. Got a ton of scenarios. The quality is not quite what I was looking for. I'm really not happy with the shipping. You know, I've got all these bent cards. Thankfully, with those, I think those will straighten out once I get them into the Tobin Spirit Guide. What is less impressive is the damage to the box. That really doesn't impress me. I like my boxes to be pristine. And if I damage it, that's one thing. That's my mistake. Something I'm going to have to deal with. This is how I received it. And I think that's uncalled for. As far as the miniatures go, aside from, the detail I don't think is very impressive. I don't know, again, if it's a problem with the detail in the miniatures themselves or the fact that these semi-translucent plastic washes it out, or maybe it's a combination of both. Maybe the detail's moderate and the semi-translucent stuff washes it out, but it doesn't impress me. I could actually see maybe even getting a headache staring at these colors, but quality-wise, through all these we had one broken figure, and I think it's an understandable break. It's a thin spot in a mold. And the fortunate thing is I do think just a dab of super glue and he'll be good to go. So I'm fortunate because I've heard some people have had horrendous breaks and have been missing a ton of stuff. So I guess I'm very fortunate. I seem to have gotten everything I was supposed to get. I think quality-wise, structurally-wise, the figures, I think, are fine. I think you're going to get your breaks, but you're going to get your breaks no matter what miniature game you play. I don't think these will break under casual play. I think if you're playing and somebody drops it onto a table, I don't think there's a whole big chance of a figure breaking. So overall, I guess I'm happy to finally have it. It's been a long time coming. If you've been following the Kickstarter board, there's been a lot of stuff going on there. I'm not going to get into that here. Maybe I'll do another video with my thoughts on that later. But we have the game. This is just a review on the pieces as I unpack them. We'll probably play a game soon. I'll try to record it, do a review of the actual gameplay, do a how-to on the gameplay. But for the pieces, if you get it, I don't think you're going to be too disappointed if you can get it at a decent price. If you can get this for 30 or 40 bucks on Amazon or Miniature Market or something, I think you'll be pretty impressed. You're not going to get everything here, obviously. But a lot of this is duplicate stuff. A lot of these ghosts here you get in the base game. You just might not get the impossible modes. But if you're interested in a quick, fast, family-friendly board game, I think you could teach this game to little kids pretty quick. And they'll pick it up, and it's Ghostbusters, and it's based more on the cartoons and the comics and the movies. So it's got that going for it. I think it is a thumbs up. I think if you can find it, 40 bucks, Amazon, Miniature Market, I think you're going to have a good time. At least with the quality of the figures, the quality of the tiles, the art is phenomenal. They got IDW art. The tokens are a decent quality. I don't think the tokens are going to chip or flake. I don't think the color is going to come off on them. The tiles for the gaming are nice and moderately thick. I don't think they're going to bend or break. I don't think the color's going to chip off on them. So yeah, overall, I'm impressed with the Cryptozoic manufacturing portion for the most part, minus the detail on the miniatures. Unimpressed with how it was shipped and packed to me by Ship Naked. That was atrocious. So there you have it. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to give me a like, subscribe, leave me a comment in the comment section, and look for more videos to come in the future.